Good morning, dear students. Before going to today's topic, once we rewind the earlier class, so that is the already we told about of the gear terms. So what are the terms generally used in our gears and uh, classification of gears. So those have covered in earlier class. Now today we are going to discuss about of the gear materials. So now the topic is gear materials. So in this, which materials are generally used for preparing of the gears? So that is generally happen by the metallic and non-metallic materials. Those are the generally made with steel, metallic point of view steel. So why? Because the steel is having the high strength material and good wearing and excellent machinability. So those are having the particular metallic materials. And bronze, so that is also bronze is also used for preparing the gears. And coming to the non-metallic point of view, so that is the gears are prepared with the wood and rawhide and compressed paper, okay, and resins, synthetic resins like nylon are used. So gears are generally prepared with the metallic materials, and for the application point of view, sometimes non-metallic materials are also prepared. So those are the gear materials are there. Now going to see the next topic, law of gearing. Law of gearing. So that is the statement is there. Law of gearing means the common normal at the point of contact. The common normal at the point of contact between a pair of teeth must always passes through the pitch point. Must always passes through the pitch point. So that is known as the law of gearing. So now here, just all of you observe the diagram. So generally, So that is when we just consider that two gear wheels are in meshing. So that let us take the two gear teeth. When the two gear teeth are intersecting or meshing one to another, so then what are the values are there? So just you will observe that. So two gear teeth are represented with the So that is those are having the two gear wheels are having the centers of O1 and O2. So just you will observe the centers of the gear wheels O1 and O2, and one is acting as the driver and another one is acting as the driven wheel, and those two are rotating and angular velocities of omega 1 and omega 2, omega 1 and omega 2, and those are having uh, point of contact. So that is the angle between the point of contact is alpha. One is alpha, okay, and gear wheel one is the alpha and gear wheel is taken to be beta. So that is the angles are also followed to the particular gear wheels. And now when the two gear wheels are meshing, so that is the point of contact at q. Q is there, just you will observe that point of q is also there. So that point of contact is also there. So you have to draw the point of contact between the two. Okay, point of contact belongs to the two gear wheels. So that is represented with q is there. So q is there. And now the point, the common normal. So what we said the statement, the common normal at the point of contact between a pair of teeth must always passes through the pitch point. So now we have to draw the common normal to the point of contact. So that is the common normal line. So that is represented with mn. So m is there and n is there, mn is there. And pitch point, this is the pitch point, p is there, pitch point p is there, represented with p is there, pitch point p is there. Now you have to draw the, okay. So that common normal line, just you have to draw perpendicularity of the common normal line to the our wheel center one, O1, wheel center O1, gear wheel 1 and gear wheel 2. So just give the some contact connection to the our gear wheel 1 to gear wheel 2. And now you have to join the our wheel centers. So that is the P is there. Now all of you observe that. So the gear wheel 1 is rotating with the angular velocity of omega and with the velocity of v1. And gear wheel 2 is rotating with the angular velocity of omega 2 and velocity point of view v2 is there. And now the point of contact q is also there. Okay. From that, we have to mention the our okay velocities of the our gear wheel 1 and gear wheel 2. So those are the so that is the C is there and D is there. C is there and D is there. C is there and D is there. And just observe that E triangle of EQC, EQC, EQC has following with the angle of alpha. EQC has followed with the angle of alpha, and EQD has followed with the beta angle. Beta angle. So those are the angles followed with the followed with that. And similarly, to draw common tangent at the point of contact, so they may also draw the common tangent. So that is the our TT line is also there. TT line. So that is the common tangent. Now you will see that therefore just you will observe that V1 and V2 be the velocities of the point Q on the wheels, on the gear wheels 1 and 2 respectively. If the teeth are to remain in contact, then the component of these velocities along the common normal MN must be equals. So which are equal here? So that is the V1 cos alpha equals to V2 cos beta. Why? Because what the triangles are there, those are the EQC and EQD. Just observe the triangle of EQC and EQD. So both are following with the one adjacent value. So that is the our EQ is the our adjacent of the our both the triangles. Let us take the triangle of EQC, the adjacent side is EQ. And let us take the triangle of EQD, the adjacent side is EQ. So both are equal. So when we equating the both the values, so that is the from the triangle of EQC, okay, this value EQ capital EQ equals to V1 cos alpha, and EQD from the triangle of EQD, capital EQ equals to V2 cos beta. How we write the this value? Just you will observe that. So what the value is there? So this is the alpha and this is the total value is the beta. Total value is the beta. So just you will take the triangle of EQC cos alpha equals to EQ by V1. Why? Because this is the V1 velocity and this is the V2 velocity. EQ by V1. So EQ equals to V1 cos alpha. And let us take the triangle of EQD. EQD. So cos beta equals to EQ by V2. So EQ equals to again V2 cos beta. So that's why they have to write the particular equation here. V1 cos V1 cos alpha equals to V2 cos beta. So later V1 is also written as omega 1 into O1Q. Why? Because we have the relation between the V1 to our omega. So that is the V equals to omega R. So from that omega 1 into O1Q equals to cos alpha, and V2 equals to omega 2 into O2Q. Later omega 1 into O1Q into cos alpha. Again the cos alpha is also written as O1M by O1Q. O1M by O1Q. Let us take the triangle in this triangle. So that is the O1 is there, and this is the O2 is there, and this is the M, and this is the yeah, this is the M. So from the triangle of MO1Q, from the triangle of MO1Q, MO1Q. So that is the cos alpha equals to O1M by O1Q. So and similarly to write the cos beta equals to O2N by O2Q. So when we substitute the both the values, then O1Q is there. Denominator is also having numerator is also O1Q. Both are cancellating here. Now the term is omega 1 into O1M equals to omega 2 O2N. Omega 2 by omega 1 equals to omega 1 by omega 2 equals to O2N by OM. Let us take the equation number 1. Now from the similar triangles, triangle of O2MP and triangle of O1MP and O2NP. So then O2N by O1M equals to O2P by O1P. O1M by O2P equals to O1M by O2P. So O2N by O1M equals to O2P by O1P. So similarly to write O2P means R, capital R R2. Okay. So and this is the O1P is the R1. So omega 1 by omega 2 equals to O2P by O1 or D2 by D1. It may also written as D2 by D1. Okay. O1 by O1 also. So that is the our law of gearing. So that means the law of gearing means velocity ratio. So velocity ratio is the omega 1 by omega 2 equals to O2P by O1P or O2N by O1M. While it may also written as omega 2 by omega 1 equals to O1P by O2P. So whatever it may be. So that is the relation is there. Now you will see that. Again, they may also write the statement here. So that is the common normal at the point of contact between a pair of teeth must always passes through the pitch point. So now have to write the equation, that is the omega 1 by omega 2 equals to O2P by O1P. So O2P means D2 by D1. It may also written as D2 by D1. And that is also similarly equals to T2 by T1. That is also equivalent to number of teeth. Number of teeth on the gear wheel 2 by number of ticks on the gear wheel 1. So that is the our law of gearing. Law of gearing. Now going to see the velocity of sliding of the teeth. Velocity of the sliding of the teeth. So what is the mean of sliding of the teeth? So just you will see that. So the sliding between a pair of teeth in contact. The sliding between a pair of teeth in contact at Q occurs along the common tangent to the tooth curves. The sliding between a pair of teeth in contact at Q occurs along the common tangent to the tooth curves as shown in figure. So now the velocity of sliding is the velocity of one tooth relative to its mating tooth. Velocity of one tooth relative to its mating tooth along the common tangent at the pitch point at the point of contact along the common tangent at the point of contact. Now we are going to find out that sliding. Okay, so that sliding velocity of sliding. So for getting the velocity of sliding, let us take the some triangles. So those are the, just you will see that what are the triangles have been considered. So that is the triangle of QEC, triangle of QEC. So just you will see the earlier diagram, and O1MQ and O1MQ. Just you will see that triangle of QEC and triangle of O1MQ. So just you will observe that QEC. So this is the QEC triangle is there. QEC, QEC triangle and O1MQ. Both are similar. Why? Because both has to be followed with the angle of alpha and similar triangles. Those are the similar triangles. So when those two are similar, so then we have to compare the values. So those that values are EC by MQ equals to EC by MQ equals to opposite side value. Opposite by opposite equals to hypotenuse by hypotenuse. So that values are EC by MQ equals to V1 by O1Q. V1 by O1Q. So here V by O1Q means that is the omega 1. V by R. Seems to be seems to be V by R. So V by R means omega. So EC equals to omega MQ. EC equals to omega 1 MQ. EC equals to omega 1 MQ. And similarly to write triangle of QED and O2NQ, both are similar. So ED by QN equals to omega 2. So ED equals to omega 2 QN. ED equals to omega 2 QN. So now let us take the velocity of sliding. So that is represented with V suffix S. So that equals to ED minus EC. ED minus EC. So that equals to ED means omega 2 QN and EC means omega 1 MQ. So QN is also written as QP plus PN. QN is also written as QP plus PN and MQ is also written as MQ. MQ is also written as MP minus QP. MP minus QP. So now what are the similar terms are there? Those are the QP terms are there. Similarly, MP are the QP are similar terms are there. So just taking out the omega 1 plus omega 2 into QP plus omega 2 PN minus omega 1 MP. Omega 2 Pn minus omega 1 Mp. So that is considered as the equation number 1. That is considered as the equation number 1. So therefore, omega 1 by omega 2 equals to, already know the relation, O2P by O1P. So similarly to write Pn by Mp. Pn by Mp. So that is also similar. Pn by Mp is also there. So that is also equivalent to omega 1 MP equals to omega 1 MP equals to omega 2 Pn, isn't it? Omega 2 Pn. So from the above relation, so omega 1 MP equals to omega 2 Pn. So when we substituted the omega 1 MP equals to omega 2 Pn, so both values are cancellating in our equation, basic equation. So then the remaining term is Vs equals to omega 1 plus omega 2 into Qp. Omega 1 plus omega 2 into Qp. Therefore, velocity of sliding is proportional to the Distance of point of contact from pitch point. Distance of point of contact from pitch point. So that is the our velocity of sliding. So velocity of sliding means it is proportional to distance of point of contact to the pitch point. So that is the QP. What is the gap? So okay. So the QPM, that is the velocity of sliding here. Just you will also keep it in your mind. Now going to see the next topic, forms of teeth. Forms of teeth. So there are two types of forms of teeth are there. So that means what are the gear teeth are there? So that teeth are generally prepared with the two types of profiles. Two types of the profiles generally. Mainly to take the two types of the teeth are there. So those are the cycloidal teeth and involute teeth. Cycloidal teeth and involute teeth. Do you know the do you know the definition of cycloid and involute? Now you will see that. So cycloid means it is simply to say that it is a curve traced by a point on the circumference of the circle, which rolls without slipping on a straight line. Which rolls without slipping on a straight line is called a cycloid. And cycloid is also having the two types of cycloids are there, epicycloid and a hypocycloid. So that is the small amendment is there. So that is the when the circle rolls without slipping on another circle. So that is calling as the epicycloid. And hypo means when the circle rolls without slipping on a inside of the circle. So that is the hypocycloid. So those are the cycloids are there. Two types of cycloids are there. Now we will observe that for preparing of the one tooth, they must follow these uh, epicycloid and hypocycloid procedures. So just you will observe that. Let us take the figure A. So that is the AB. Two rollers are there. AB are the centers of the our gear. Wheels. A and centers of the our A and B are the centers of the wheels. Gear wheel C and D. And now similarly to take the A dash B dash. Okay, those are also there. And in this face and flank, so that is the let us take the tooth, one gear tooth. So that is the upper portion. Okay, upper portion from the pitch circle. That means pitch circle above portion is calling as the face and below portion is calling as the flank. And pitch line is also there. Okay, so pitch line pitch line is also there. So in this, when the when the one circle rolls without slipping on another circle, then we may get the our epicycloid. Epicycloid, that means that profile has been generated when the circle rolls without slipping on another circle. That means the D is rolling, the C circle is rolling on the D. So that means that may also to achieve the our one profile. And similarly to get the bottom, so that is the flank portion. So for getting the flank portion, so one circle rolls inside of the another circle. Okay, the circle, one roller rolls the inside the circle. So then we may also to achieve the flank portion. And similarly to get the another side also, so it is the tooth is also having the two profile. Okay, two sides of the profiles are there. So that is the right portion is there and left portion are there. For getting the right portion, one epicycloid procedure has been done and one hypocycloid procedure also happened. And similarly, to get the left side portion, so epicycloid and hypocycloid procedures are happened. So that means for getting the one gear teeth, for preparing of the one teeth, so we may do the okay four times of the procedure is required. So that is the two epicycloidal procedures and two hypocycloidal procedures. So when we made the particular thing, then only possible to get the one cycloidal teeth, one cycloidal teeth. So that is the procedure has been done. Now coming to see the involute teeth. So before going to see the involute profile teeth, so involute profile teeth, before going to see that, so what is the mean of involute? So just all of you observe that an involute, let us take the involute circle. It is a plane curve generated by a point on a tangent which rolls on circle, without slipping or by a point on the taut string which can which in unwrapped from a reel, which in unwrapped from a reel as shown in figure. So that is the our involute. So that means let us take the reel. So unwrapped from a reel. So just when you are wounding of the one reel, or when you are wounding of the thread, so that is the what the procedure has been followed for wounding of the for wounding of the our thread or our reels. So that is the our involute procedure. So in this, just all of you observe that involute, how we take the our involute profile. So that is the construction of involute are there. Just you will observe that. Just for getting the only procedure point of view, let us take the only 1/4 portion. That means quarter portion has been divided into equal number of parts. That is the P1, P2, P3 of our circle. The circle is in our circle only quarter portion has been divided. Now, so that when we dividing that, so that is the we are also giving the some representation P1, P2, P3, and starting point is taking as the our A. Now we are going to make the tangential lines of P1, P2, P3. So tangential lines of P1, P2, P3. Now we will take the compass and measure the distance of AP1. AP1. Draw the arc with the center as a P1. With the center as a P1. Draw the arc with the center as a P1. So that is the AP1. P1A is the our radius. P1A is the radius. So P1A is the radius. So now draw the arc. Later, going to P2A, P2A, just measure the P2A and draw the arc up to our tangential line P2 with the P2A radius. P2 as a center. And now going to measure the now going to arrange the distance of P3A and draw the arc up to our P3 tangential line. So that is the A1, A2, A3. So those are the so those are the lines is also generated. So that way we have to generate the profile. We have to generate the profile. So that is the involute procedure. What we said in our construction of involute. So that is the procedure have been followed. Now coming to see construction of our So that is the involute profile. So that is the let us observe the our diagram. Let us observe the diagram. So what are the what is the okay, what type of profile is there? So just all of you observe that. In this, let us take the two gear wheels. The gear wheel centers are O1 and O2, and O1 and O2 are there. And now we have to draw the one common normal line. So that common normal line, that gear wheel is generally represented with the the gear wheel is represented with the uh, three circles. In this, only you have taken only you have consider as the two circles. Those are the main circles are base circle and pitch circle, and another circle is also there. Next class, later classes we will discuss that. So that is the addendum circle. Three circles are generally represented for um, uh, for for our gear wheel, for representation of any gear wheel: base circle, pitch circle, and addendum circle. Now in this, gear wheel 1 represented with the base circle and pitch circle, and gear wheel 2 is represented with also base circle and pitch circle. Now the pitch circle 2 are contact. Sorry, those two are intersecting at a point of P. Those two are contact at a point of P. Just you will observe that. So this is the pitch point. And now we draw the one common normal line. Common normal line. Okay. So when we draw the common normal line, so that is the common normal line to the base circle. So the common normal is to the base circle of gear wheel 1 to gear wheel 2. So just you have to draw the common normal line Mn. So the common normal line always passes through the pitch point. So that's why, so that is the passing through the our pitch point. Passes through the pitch point. Now we have to connected the our O1M and our O2N. And now we have to give the some angle. Okay, angle, that is the our pi angle is there. Pi angle. Okay, from our, so this is the axis line is also represented. Pi. Triangle of O1MP is the pi and O2NP is also pi. So the angle is the pi. And now point of contact Q is also there. So that point of contact where they are also mentioned, the point of contact Q is also there. So just you will observe that. So when you have to approach that of our involute teeth procedure, so then we have the one advantage compare the our cycloidal teeth. That is the, so for getting the involute profile. So for getting the involute profile, uh, face and flank both are prepared by the only one involute procedure. So that means right side portion is also generated by the our right side portion and left side portion, two portions. Okay, so that right side portion, one portion, in our teeth, so having the two portions. So when we take the, this is a, just you will observe that. So this is taking as the two portions, this portion, right side portion and left side portion. So for preparing of one portion, so right side portion, so when the when the involute procedure has been followed, so then one involute procedure is generated to the total face and flank. And for getting the left side is also to take the another one involute procedure. That means for getting the one teeth, we have done the only two involute procedures. Two involute procedures. But in our cycloidal teeth point of view, four procedures are required for preparing of one tooth. For preparing of one tooth. So that is the two epicycloids and two hypocycloid procedures. But in this, two involute procedures, okay, only required for preparing of one complete tooth. So that is the difference is also there. Now you will see that. So let us take the triangle of O2NP and O1MP. So in our triangle, O2MP and O1MP. So O2N, O2M by, sorry, O1M by O2N equals to O1P by O2P equals to omega 2 by omega 1. Already know the particular relation. So now we are going to find out the O1M equals to O1P cos phi, O2N equals to O2P cos phi. So now going to find out the center distance between the base circles. Now we are going to find out the center distance. For getting the center distance, simply to take O1 O2 equals to O1P plus O2P. So general formula, already know that. So O1P plus O2P. So O1P is also written as O1 by cos phi plus O2N by cos phi. So how we write the our O1 by cos phi? That means the triangle of O1MP and triangle of O2NP. So they may also write here. So then O1M plus O2N by cos phi. Phi is the pressure angle. Phi is the pressure angle or angle of obliquity. So that is already told that pressure angle. Okay. So pressure angle or angle of obliquity. So in earlier class. So that is the angle between the point of contact to the maximum. Okay. Point of contact to the pitch point. So the angle between the point of contact to the pitch point. So that is our pressure angle is there. So now when the power is being transmitted, if the F is maximum tooth pressure as shown. So now going to find out the at the tooth pressure. So now we are going to find the pressure. So that is the tangential force and normal forces. So Ft equals to F cos phi and normal force. So Fr equals to F sin phi. So what is the pressure? Okay, what is the pressure is concentrated on a particular tooth. So that is also calculated by the help of this one. So that is the F suffix T equals to F cos phi and F suffix N equals to F suffix N or F suffix R equals to F sin phi. So when we find the tangential and normal forces, then now going to find out the torque exerted on the gear shaft. So that is the Ft into R. F suffix T into R. Tangential force into radius. That is the torque. Torque on the gear shaft. Torque on the gear shaft. So just you will observe that where we are okay representing the our okay force value. So that is the force is located on this place. Force is there, and this is the Ft. Ft is there, and Fr is there. Fr is there. So those are the terms are calculated by the help of this derivation involute okay teach involute profile teach.